Coach, could you talk a little bit about Ethan Happ and just the progress that he's made over the past couple of weeks? And do you think maybe getting to practice with Frank Kaminsky last year kind of brought him along as far as he has?
Well, there's no doubt that the practice with Frank has helped him immensely. And I think anytime you can get a chance to, as a freshman, as one announcer said in one game, get a chance to incubate. I think it was Clark Kellogg, meaning you get a chance to sit and watch for a year, as Ethan did last year, and incubate, grow while not burning a year of eligibility. That helped him, and then you also get a chance to figure out what college is about. You understand, class. You understand semester breaks. You understand finals, and you're not having the added pressure of playing in games as another mental load on you as well. And then obviously physically he's gotten better, but obviously to be around Frank, not only to guard Frank and have Frank guard him every day in that experience, but also to see how Frank handled his day-to-day operations, how he worked, how he prepared, all those things behind the scenes that I think were valuable for Ethan. And still there's no replacement for experience, and I've said that in many times, that as much as Ethan learned from Frank last year, he still had to go there and do it himself. And that is where I think I've seen the growth over the last 2 to 4 weeks, is that experience that he's gotten early in the year is he's becoming more consistent. I think that's the biggest thing. And hopefully, obviously, I think he's only scratching the surface in terms of where he can be, and he's got a lot of time left here in his career.
Another quick question about Ethan. When he came in, was his footwork one of the things that you liked about him, and has that taken a large step forward in the past year and a half or so?
Well, Ethan's had the same track that John Lohr, Frank Kaminsky had, in terms of they played on the perimeter a lot when they were younger because they were smaller, and then had a late growth spurt. And Ethan played, point guard for, I don't know how long, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th grade, until he, finally grew. So I think those things help any players, and we've seen similar. Frank had very good footwork. John had very good footwork, and I think once players learn to kind of invert, so to speak, meaning I'm so accustomed to play on the outside, and now I got to grow. And that was the biggest thing I noticed with John. John did not really particularly like playing with his back to the basket when he first got here. He was much more comfortable facing up. Frank was the same way. I think Ethan was a little further ahead in terms of playing with his back to the basket, but had the same qualities in terms of footwork and balance. And that's what I mean by inverting. Very comfortable going either direction, very comfortable with either hand. And also, everybody talks about being ambidextrous with your hands. I think ambidextrous with your feet, too. Comfortable pivoting on either one. Comfortable, we call it a sigma, which is a reverse pivot, opening up. Those things we saw with Ethan relatively early, and I know when he was here for advanced camp, he made some of the same plays in terms of grabbing a rebound and going rim to rim and making decisions in the open court. It's a little different now that I always tell him you can't play Frogger, meaning you can't cross a busy highway in transition, sideline to sideline, and these guys look at me like, what's Frogger? So we've had to there's been a little old school video game instruction too. But I think that that experience when he was younger has helped him. And I think he still can get a lot better. I think perimeter shooting will be something that will be an off-season project for him. And also being more consistent around the rim. He left a couple points there last night, or more than a couple. And I think he can get better and better as he understands how to play more on balance, how to take contact, how to take advantage of defensive players' miscues at times, and really put them in jeopardy in it from a defensive standpoint. So obviously very, very happy with his growth, and he's done a tremendous job as a freshman, but we always find things where he can get better at.